back to my channel. I am very excited for today's video. I'm going to be doing a Q&A so all of you can get to know me a lot better. Last night I posted on my Instagram stories a little question box and so many of you submitted so many amazing questions and I am so excited to answer them and share a little bit more about my life with all of you. Since I got so many questions, I am just going to jump right in because I think that this is going to be a little bit of a longer video than usual, so I am excited. Okay, so the first question I got is, where would your dream location to live be and why? So obviously with how our life is right now, with Ethan being in the military, there's really only options of bases that Ethan can go to. So with that being said, our dream place to live is probably Hawaii. I think it's a lot of people's dream place to live and I hear it's very, very hard to get an assignment there. We both just feel like it would be such a cool experience and an amazing place to live for a couple of years and just be on a tropical island. So I would say that is probably our dream place that we would want to live. Okay, question number 2, warm weather or 4 seasons? I am really torn about this one. I feel like I'm always talking about Hawaii and wanting to live in like a tropical place, but I do really like having 4 seasons. So I don't know, it's hard to tell. Thankfully, the military will decide for us where we have to live, so I don't have to. I think it would be nice to live somewhere that's hot all year round for a short amount of time, but long term, I think I would miss my snow way too much. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty torn on that one. Okay, question 3. Do you miss American holidays? So we still celebrate all the holidays that we do in America, but it's just a little bit different since off base they don't have a lot of the same traditions and they're not really big into the same holidays that we are. So I do miss a lot of the larger events that come along with the holidays, like pumpkin patches. There are no pumpkin patches here. Some years there's a local farmer that tries to like put out a few pumpkins that you can go take pictures with, but it's kind of hit or miss. The base does do a really good job of like pictures with Santa and trick-or-treating, so we do still have a lot of that, but it's definitely not the same. So I'll be excited for when we go back to the States to have some of those like more standard traditions back that we're all used to. Next question, have you thought about whether you want more children or not? So me and Ethan have very different viewpoints on what we want for kids. I would love to have a lot of kids, like 4 kids, and Ethan would be happy with like just 2. So we definitely talk about it often, and I think we're just gonna kind of live our life, and when the time comes we will see how we both feel. You know, we'll definitely have a second kid and then kind of talk and reevaluate at that point. So we will see, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed for lots of kids. How often do you get to see family? Not very often at all, which is so sad and horrible, and the case with many military families. We try and go back when we can. The last time we were back in the States was last July, so it's been about a year and a half. It's hard. I mean, now with COVID going on, it's extremely difficult because we're just not allowed. I'm not sure when we're gonna get the chance to go back next. Hopefully we will be able to soon after we get to our next base, but I know things are always changing, so we will see. And I'm excited to be back in the States just because from here it is so expensive, especially with Everly now, to buy a plane ticket for all 3 of us. It's hard and it's really, really difficult for Ethan to get leave from work. There's a lot of hoops that he has to jump through to be able to take time off of work for such a long stretch of time. So it's all a big process, but hopefully back in the States it will be a lot easier and we will be able to visit family a lot more. How did you and Ethan meet? So I have my best friend Laura that I met in college. When we were in college together, she was dating somebody in the Air Force and who's her husband now, and they basically always wanted to set me and Ethan up. And once Laura graduated and moved down to Arkansas to be with her now husband, we like got on FaceTime a few times when they were all together and we really hit it off and we talked a bunch. And then that following summer, I ended up flying down there to see Laura and Pete in their new home and meet Ethan. And we really hit it off. We really liked each other and we ended up dating. So that is how we met. I know everybody always thinks it's such a crazy story when they're like, oh, like, where are you from? And I say New York, and people ask, well, where's your husband from? And I say Ohio, and they're like, how'd you meet if you guys were living in like totally different places? So that is how we met. Okay, have you always taught online or did you have another job prior? So I didn't always teach online. If I went back and told you all the different jobs that I had, it would be a lot. So to start from when I moved to Japan, I got a job working at one of the banks on base, and I worked there for about 7 months. And then I ended up leaving that job to start doing my online teaching. And I've been doing that for, it'll be almost 2 years in the coming new year. So that is what I did prior, and now I am teaching online and absolutely loving it. What is your favorite thing to do with your free time? So gosh, I feel like what even is free time nowadays once you have a kid, right? But Netflix and YouTube, I'm way too addicted. I'm always watching different shows and supporting other people on YouTube and watching their videos, which I really, really love. And then I've been getting a lot more into reading lately, back into reading books, which I am really loving. I read recently The Silent Patient and then a book called Behind Closed Doors and The Couple Next Door, and all three of those were absolutely amazing books. I highly recommend them. I will put the information, like the title with the author, because I can't think of the authors off the top of my head. I will put that information down below so you can check those out if you're interested. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do with my free time. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Westchester, New York, which is about an hour north of New York City by car. So the suburbs right outside of the city, and it was a great place to grow up. I really, really liked it. I definitely miss it a lot. What's the best piece of advice you received before becoming a mom? Oh gosh, I received so much advice. Some was great, others were not great. But the one thing that I really took to heart and benefited me the most was when people told me to just trust your instinct and really not listen to anybody else. It's great to get advice and opinions from people, but I so often think that a lot of people view like the way that they do things as the best way, and there are really just so many ways to do things, and it's, you know, however you choose to raise your child isn't right or wrong. It's just how you do it, and you just have to be true to yourself and do what you know is best for your family and your child. So I really think that that was the best piece of advice I got before I became a mom. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I do. I have a brother and a sister, Catherine and Nick. They are 2 years younger than me, and they are twins. So that is really exciting. I love them both so much. Thank you guys both for watching, if you're watching right now. And yeah, so that's it. We're all really close and we love it. How long have me and my husband been together? We've known each other for like 5 years now, and we got married at the very end of 2017. So we will be married 3 years on December 23rd of this year. Do we video chat family in the States so Everly knows who they are? Yeah, we try and video chat a lot. It can be really challenging with the time difference and everybody's schedule matching up, but we do try and FaceTime as much as we can. And I definitely think she's starting to get to an age where she's recognizing people on the phone a little bit more, so that's really exciting. What is the biggest adjustment you've had to make living outside of the US? Really, I feel like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Probably the biggest adjustment is the language barrier, but a lot of people off base do know how to speak English, so it's not too bad, but that is probably the biggest adjustment. And like just learning all the little cultural differences. So how to use chopsticks properly, or getting used to their customs of like not tipping because it's considered rude, and little things like that. But overall, it wasn't too big of an adjustment. It was pretty easy to kind of catch on to all their customs and the way that they do everything. And the language barrier nowadays with Google Translate, it's really easy to communicate even if you don't speak the same language. So yeah, I would say those are the biggest challenges. Favorite TV show? Always The Office. That will always be my number one answer. It's the best. It's the greatest. Aside from that, which I'm always constantly watching, nowadays we are watching The 100, which I really, really like. And I am also trying to get through all the seasons of American Horror Story. Some of them are not as great as others, but I'm working on it, and we're getting through that show too. So those are two of my favorites that I've been working on these days. What is your favorite meal to make? For the most part, every single week I pick a cookbook or a food blogger on Instagram, or I pick some recipes off of Pinterest that I had saved, and I make 3 brand new recipes every single week for dinner. So I am constantly changing up my cooking routine, the recipes that I'm making. It's always new, but I will say my 2 favorite cookbook authors have been Joanna Gaines and Chrissy Teigen. I really love both of their cookbooks. Their recipes are always absolutely amazing. But I will say, aside from like new recipes, staples that I always make, I make this soup with pasta, egg, and peas that we always had growing up, and it's so easy to make, and it's such a comfort food for me because I grew up with it. So I do make that a lot for lunch or dinner when we don't have anything planned. So that's probably my favorite thing to make, and it's really easy. So that or new recipes. Favorite place we've traveled. So 2 Februaries ago, we went to the Maldives, and it was just absolutely amazing. It is a place unlike any other. I really believe it's truly one of a kind, very unique. You can't find it anywhere else in the world. Super luxurious, crystal clear blue waters, just breathtaking, absolutely amazing, and just such an interesting experience. So that is one of our favorites. I don't know if we'll ever get to go back again one day, but I highly recommend it because it is amazing and truly unique to itself. So that is probably my favorite trip. How long do I think my husband will stay in the military? So we are always going back and forth. Ethan is kind of always changing his mind a little bit, but I think we're probably going to be in it for the long haul. He'll probably stay in for the full 20 years, and if at some point he decides he doesn't want to be active duty, he will probably go reserves to finish out the 20 years. So we're definitely going to be with the military for at least 20 years. When we leave this base, he will be just about 9 years in. So we'll be almost halfway there and probably going to stick it out for the other half. Did I play any sports in high school? Yeah, I played soccer for like a short bit. Wasn't all that great, but had a lot of fun with it and met a lot of nice people. So yeah, I did that in high school. Did I go to college? Yeah, I did. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education, and I went to SUNY Oneonta, which is in upstate New York. Absolutely loved it. I was an RA, and gosh, every day I talked to my friend Laura about how I wish we could go back for just like a few months and relive our life, because what an amazing time of my life that was. I absolutely love my life now and where I'm at, but there is just something about those years in college that are unlike anything else. It was really just amazing, and I got a degree out of it, so that is a plus. And that is helping me with my teaching now, since you do have to have a degree to teach for the company that I am working for. So at least I'm putting it to use somehow. Was I prepared to travel out of the country when I met my husband? Absolutely not. First of all, when I went to college, it was like the most devastating thing. It was 3 hours away, and I cried every day that I wanted to come home. I couldn't handle it. I needed to be closer to home. I was always the kind of person that thought I would raise my kids in the town that I grew up in and live in that town for my whole life and retire and never leave my little town that I always knew. So it was definitely a shock and a really big adjustment, but I couldn't be more grateful. It really put me out of my comfort zone, and I'm so glad that it worked out this way, because this has just been such an amazing experience, and if I hadn't been forced into it, I never would have chose to live my life this way, and I really am so grateful for how it all turned out. How did your family handle the news of me moving to another country? Of course, they were really sad to see me go, but very supportive. They knew I was going to have the most amazing experience and make the most amazing memories, so they were very supportive, and that was the most important thing for me that really helped me be okay with making the move. And then my next question is, how did they react to us having a baby in another country? And I would say the exact same thing. Obviously, people were upset that we weren't going to be close to home, as we were, but they were really excited for us to start our family and be making memories, and very supportive. So that was so nice. Do we plan to move back to the US ever? Yes, I am so excited. I cannot wait to get back to the United States. We are moving in June, and more than likely, pretty positively, we will be moving back to the US. We're not sure where yet, but it is most likely going to be in the United States. So we are so excited about that, and we will be finding out in about February where exactly we'll be heading. So I will definitely be posting a video announcing that, so stay tuned in a few months. How do you make friends when you're constantly moving to new places? So everybody in the military is kind of used to it. It's a really nice community, and you just get to a point where you have to accept that you're going to make good friends, and in a few months, a few years, they're going to leave. But it's really nice to stay in touch, and then sometimes you even wind up at the same base again in the future, which is really nice. But they come and go, but you always stay in touch, and it's just how it is, and it's just another part of military life that you have to get used to. Will Everly go to school abroad? So we will be back in the States probably when she starts school, but if at any point we do move back overseas when she's school age, she'll probably go to a school on base. So it'll be an American school on base, just in a foreign country, if that makes sense. Top guilty pleasures. Okay, I would say Jersey Shore, or pretty much any trashy reality TV. I can't get enough of it. And good food, fast food, takeout. Oh my gosh, I indulge way too much. I really shouldn't as much, but it is what it is. I love it. I can't get enough. So those are probably my two top guilty pleasures. All right, well, that is all the questions that I have time to answer today. Thank you all so much for everyone that submitted questions to me. If you're not following me on Instagram, I will put my handle right here. Be sure to go and check me out over there. That way, next time I do a video like this, you can participate. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about me. I really enjoyed sharing more about me and my life and my family with all of you. So stay tuned for more Q&As, more vlogs. I have another vlog that's going to be coming up next week. So thank you again so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.